Sup, boys? It's the guy, and today, as it turns out, we actually get our first official look at the new hero, who I am going to Ramattra. So yeah, just gonna go over everything that's happening right now and see, whatever happens, Anyway, fierce ability and kit. Domineer playstyle. Would you expect anything else from the leader of Null Sector? Truth be told, Ramattra was technically a challenging hero to make. He's very special in the world of Overwatch, both as a playable hero and as a character. Okay, so right now they're just sort of licking themselves right now, sucking themselves off. Anyway, when you select Ramattra, Omnic form is where you're going to start. His weapon in the form of his Void Accelerator, a massive staff that comes with its own set of primary and secondary fires. Alright, real talk with you guys. I don't like beam weapons. I don't like them in the slightest. So the fact that it seems like this is gonna be a beam weapon is not great, but we can. Void Accelerator primarily fires at a stream of fast moving nanites, say no native particles that that have a travel speed that requires you to lead targets, but there is no damage fall off. Oh, okay. So it doesn't seem like it's gonna be another beam character, cause honestly, I'm getting pretty sick of beam characters right now. Zarya, Ramattra, Moira, they're not busted. Everyone who slightly knows what they're talking about in Overwatch knows they're not busted. They're not even in the slightest, but they're annoying. So I'm not out here trying to tell you guys oh, you better watch out. Ramattra is actually an S tier hero and she's gonna dominate them. It's no, she's just annoying. And same with Moira. Moira is really damage and healing. She literally has no other utility, and unlike any other support hero. So yeah. Anyway, secondary ability is Void Barrier, a temporary high health barrier that can place in a targeted location. When you activate the barrier, you'll see a line on the floor to confirm where you want to place the barrier. It is in range, which creates a few playstyles. This uses it to defensively to protect the teammates and cut off enemies, or not use it offensively to create space and close the gap between you and the other team. Alright, real talk, I don't know if I don't know how good that is going to be. I think it really depends on the health, because Sigma also has a barrier that he can place pretty much anywhere, and Orisa used to, but Sigma has a 800 health barrier. Reinhardt has the highest shield barrier, of all the tanks, the actual shields, because his has 1200. Now, obviously, there are exceptions to it. For example, Sigma can basically negate all projectile damage with his absorb. Diva's defense matrix can also absorb infinite amount of damage as long as it's within a certain time period. Now, I'm wondering how this shield is going to perform then in comparison to that. Also, for example, Winston's barrier has 800 health, if I'm remembering correctly. Granted, I don't play Winston that often, so it seems, there's no talk of how much health it has, so we're kind of just gonna be rolling the dice pretty much right now. I'm still obviously excited. It's just I'm a little worried because if it has if it's a little too good. Especially during like the first couple days of a character, I notice they're always kind of given as OP because no one has any idea how to fight them. And then slowly, as like by the end of the week, then people will realize, oh wait, this is how you do things, you know? Also, I can't really tell if you're able to place it and then it's stuck there until it breaks, or if you can recall it like Sigma, but we'll have to see. Alright, Nemesis form. Ramattra's Nemesis form changes both his appearance and weapon. He becomes a giant protector or threat, depending on your perspective. He bulks up with extra armor, and he forms 2 extra arms, which serve as his weapons in Nemesis form. Did they tell us how much his health? No. Pummy launches a short-range power wave with each swing, so it also piercing attack. So if the enemies stacked within range, they all get hit. It's really nice for playing around. Things like Reinhardt shields due to defense matrix or Winston. Yeah. So maybe having having Reinhardt Fire Strike that can go through defense matrix as a standard ability from throwing punches, maybe this is going to be a little busted. Yeah, this is going to be very busted. Anyway, it's kind of difficult to dance in and out of a bubble when Palmer goes straight through it regardless. Okay, yeah, this is going to be really good. From block, Ramattra throws his big tanks. For block, Ramattra throws his big tank's arms in front of his face, reducing damage from the front. It also effectively and reduces the damage of Hanzo's dragons and Torbjorn's molten core, despite them surrounding him. Oh, okay. Blocks shows Ramattra. It slows his movement speed and only appears to damage the front line, leaving him vulnerable from behind. So maybe Tracer will get a buff. Speaking of which, there's a Tracer right there, and it appears to last 7 seconds, and this actually also gives us an idea of his health. So it doesn't seem, he does not have 600 health right now, or he has 600 health right now, but down here it shows that he has 450 in his scepter form. So I don't know if it's going to be his tank has 600 and his normal has 450. We'll have to wait and see. There is no There's no cooldown to block. You can use it whenever you want by waving in and out of your attacks. The trade-off is that you can't punch while using it, and it slows you down. Okay, so it's kind of, this is like Reinhardt's shield. Nemesis is 8 seconds ability with an 8 seconds cooldown. You aren't permanently in this form. Oh, okay. So he basically goes into big buff tank for 8 seconds. And yeah. So that is probably going to be the saving grace for these next couple days when you're trying to figure out how to fight him, is that he can only be around and kill you for 8 seconds. And it's very hard to kill a team in casual when everyone is 5 miles apart when you only have 8 seconds. Alright, Ravenous Vortex. Vortex is all that slow grounds and damages enemies. Oh, okay, so we all hate Farah. Good to know that the developers do too. This ability is a projectile that bounces off walls, enemies, and slips and slopes like roofs. It must hit the floor to activate, says Livy. Once activated, it opens up a big area that will slow enemies, put them to the ground, and deal damage. Alright, yeah, this is going to be good, especially since Far Mercy is really good in low ranked games, as you can probably guess, because you know aiming is hard. But yeah, not much you can really do. Roger keeps it just sweet. Okay, so it does also keep him in the sweet spot. That's good to know. Oh, and we also see his barrier. Oh, and he's going to have 100. So I'm kind of hoping he's a little bit different than just a beam. It seems like he is, but I don't know. Inhibulation is a special ultimate, says Lemmy. First, Ramattra immediately goes into Nemesis mode, but there is something else going on at the same time. Addition is a wild energy swarm that lashes out towards any enemies within range, dealing constant damage. Okay. So sort of like May, it is similar to Transcendence in the sense that it creates a big ring around him. Annihilation has beams that latch onto enemies within range. Despite their health, says Lemmy, enemies need to be within the ultimate's range and Ramattra's line of sight. But there's another... It doesn't end, says Lemmy. If the beam is attached to an enemy, it pauses the duration of the ultimate. Let me continue. The ultimate itself is relatively short, but if you attach to someone, it's not ending. While these Gs are attached to enemies, Ramattra has all the benefits and abilities from Nemesis form. He gives enemies two options with his ultimate, either eliminate him or move. Okay, null sector meets Overwatch. Ramattra's playstyle is complete and manufactured. Learning his history and ideas on this. No one really cares. No one really cares. No one really cares. No one really cares. Alright, cool. So the last little bit was lore. And so basically the 8-second cooldown is pretty much the only balanced thing about him. I'm kind of kidding, but the fact that he can literally pause his ultimate by latching onto someone, that does not sound very balanced, because guess what? You can't control other players, and there's going to be that one guy, or hell, sometimes you're the tank, and you're like, well, crap, there's no overtime anymore. Thanks, Blizzard. So now we can't wait it out, because we literally see on this map right now, it goes almost on the entire control point. So say you're playing, I don't know, pick a tank. Guess what? Every single tank is about getting on point. That is kind of your job. In the last 5 seconds of a match, if you are about to lose, it doesn't matter. You throw your body on point. Because you need to hold out as long as you can, as long as you possibly can. But now if you do that, you get punished for it. Now granted, you were getting punished with it earlier by getting focus fired by the entire enemy team, and believe it or not, 6 people, or no, sorry, I'm thinking about original Overwatch. 5 people focus firing one guy. It doesn't matter if he has 5, 6, 700 HP, or in Ball's case, like, Ball could literally have 1300 HP. It does not matter. If 5 people are focus firing you, it's not gonna fly. So you already got punished for it. Now you're getting punished even more. And also, it kinda doesn't sound very balanced, because being able to prolong your ultimate is something that literally no other character can do. So you're gonna have to fight them differently than you would other ultimates. Because some ultimates, like for example, they brought up Zenyatta. Well, when you see a Zen transcending, you know what you don't do? You don't charge them. You know what you do? You back off. Yeah, you back off. Or if you can find some way to knock them off the map, because then it doesn't matter if they're, you know, I'm not talking about the Zen itself, I'm talking about the people who are gathered around the Zen. But even then, that's really risky. And yeah, so with that though, you know, if you play the game enough, you find a certain window. There becomes windows of opportunities. now, you're going to be able to throw off people depending on if your Mei decides to charge the enemy tank. So I don't know, that seems absurdly odd to me, and I found it weird that Blizzard are going in this direction, but it doesn't seem horrible. It does not seem horrible. I'm obviously looking forward to playing him, and as you can probably guess, as a tank player, I am going to play him first day. I don't care if I have to go into 5v5 no limits. If that's what I gotta do, then that's what I'm doing. So I'll catch you on the flip side, boys.